All right, good morning. So this is going to be hopefully the last big push that I have to do in order to get this tile map editor working. And I've made huge amounts of progress yesterday. All the pieces are basically here. I'm just trying to fix a little bug where I only want to update one char in the code at a time, so that when I make changes to the tile map, I do not get a flicker, which you'll see in a second. And yeah, let's see how far we can get today. So I will not be able to stream tomorrow for sure, and I'll be back on Thursday. So, and plus I'm like so far behind on all my other projects, but it's so cool to actually see this working. Of course, this didn't compile, so let's just have our little AI helper come in and fix this. All right, so there are a bunch of things that we need to focus on today. I have fixed this platform issue. I believe I fixed this, but we need to do this: move, exit to player position on editor, register actors with tile. We're going to focus on this right now, and I'll explain what this register actors with the tile map means. We have this, need a switch mode, don't have this, need to fix exit generation, add in star when enemy dies, add save level option, walker enemy needs to play death animation. Okay, let's mark these all as completed, and we're going to focus on this one task today. So what this task does, or at least what I've outlined in this task, is that I'm just checking to see how the AI is going. What this task is going to do is allow us to, right now, there's a couple of different ways that I'm laying out the enemies and moving things around. But what the tile map editor doesn't have is an actual reference to any of the actors. So I'm going to make a new event that registers all of the actors with the tile map editor. And what that'll allow us to do is that instead of us painting a tile in the background for an enemy, we're actually just going to move the enemy there. And when we do it again, we're just going to, we can also flip the enemy. And the reason why we're going to do this is that I wanted to get it to a place where actually the tile map editor not only knows how to reposition the actors when we're editing, and since we can't really play it from there, it's not going to matter. I mean, although I may bring back the ability to go straight from the editor back into playing the game. But what it will allow us to do is that once we have one centralized system that manages the actors and the tiles, that means that when we pass it in a new code, it will automatically act as the setup script, because right now I'm just doing it sort of by hand, going through and looking at the tiles. And a lot of this will make some more sense as I go along further into the morning. So, we're still getting some errors here. Let's see if we can get it to fix this stuff. Not happy with Spotify's random music selection at the moment. So, am I in the right playlist? Nope, I am not in the right playlist. Oh no, I hope I don't get flagged or banned or whatever it is that they do. Not like I'm monetizing any of this stuff. All right, we're in the royalty-free music now. I was actually about to say that other stuff sounded good. Oh, this royalty-free stuff is all right. It's not bad. It's just not my flavor. I had this great playlist of lo-fi covers of songs, and I was hoping that would be royalty-free, but it is not. All right, so the other things that we need to add in, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head of what we need to add in, is we need an ability to save level code to global memory. I don't know why I put an IE at the end of it. Need a way of passing the level code back to the GB's memory. So restarting the level doesn't wipe everything. All right, let's do this. Let's see where we are here. And hopefully this is fixing the last of these little errors so I can actually compile this and show you what is going on under the hood. So I have to say, out of all the AIs, I've probably been having the best luck right now with, of course, all this is like completely broken right before I start my stream. I've been having the best luck with this Claude Sonnet 4 preview and Copilot in Visual Studio Code. So this has been interesting, and actually I think I'm going to move some more of my development over to this because I've been growing annoyed with Lovable and the output that it's giving me. So now I just want to actually build things and not have to deal with also paying for a ton of credits. I get Copilot free, I guess, as part of, I think they comp me because I had an open source project and I also am an author at LinkedIn, which is also part of Microsoft and connected to GitHub. Okay. I'm hoping that this is the last thing that needs to be finalized so that we can start moving on to being able to refactor this tile map editor. And I'd say this is taking me a little longer than I wanted to. My goal was to do this in 7 days. I'm at day 12, so I've imagined it's going to be a full week over its expectation, over my plan for it. I don't know what's going on here and why this is so I was just looking at some other project that I have running in the background, and it's just decided to break itself. Live badge. All right, I'll have that project. I have another little project running off screen that I'm building a site that takes all of my live streams and turns it into a blog. And what I'm trying to get it to do is pay attention to the fact I wanted to give a label at the top video that it's live, if it's actually live. So the only way that I can really do this testing is while I'm actually live. So I'm going to try not to distract myself too much. Okay. So as you can see, we're now able to draw all these platforms. We can actually put enemies down now. We can even flip the enemy. And we can put a player down. So, what we need to do now, so the one thing I've noticed that, and I'll just have to go back and maybe clean this myself, is that it's, oh wait, it has broken the level code. It's no longer updating. Wait, that one's updating. Is this one updating? Okay, this is... Let's actually play this again. And we'll restart this. I'm just going to start going from right to left and just make sure that all these codes work. So what I did yesterday was I simplified things by making sure that you can only draw platforms on certain rows. So platforms get drawn on, alternate, odd rows, and players are active. Oh my God, my brain's like not working because I'm trying to do two things at the same time. The characters are drawn on the even rows. There we go. Got that word out. I was just trying to figure out why is this not working? This is D. So why is this one not updating? Let me put my mouse here so I don't forget. This is so weird because D, K, oops, I. So K means that the entire thing is filled. K. All right, let's come here. I don't think. Huh. I don't think it's actually. You know what, let's do it this way. I think what we're going to do, let me restart this again. We're going to go through each one of these quadrants and we're going to test to make sure that we can get the full range out of it. So here, here, and here is going to be K. This one won't work, which is fine. Actually, let me just do this real quick. I need to disable the code that paint. I feel like I have a function to count enemies on map, has enemy nearby, can place platform, can platform placement type, sure, whatever. I'm trying to see there's event, would 2x times exceed limit. That's a weird function name. Rebuild platform row. Clear existing player on row 11. Remove enemies above platform. Paint the player. I'm just looking at all these functions that have been added since I've been paint. All right. Get brush tile state. All right, VM setup map. Here we go. What I wanted to do was place the exit. I'm going to get rid of this real quick. And what this will do is it'll actually remove the exit from the tile map. So hopefully that works. I'm also checking this little site on the other screen to see if it will give me my live indicator, which it no longer does. Cool. All right. My goal with this other site was I have the domain jessefreeman.tv, and right now I just have it forwarding to Twitch, but what I really want to do is have it forward to this page, and this page will become the landing page that shows all of the content that I've created, which is part of a much larger push that I need to do to start organizing my video content. All right, so you see that it didn't draw the exit into the tile map. So we have K and K. Let's remove this. Whoops. So I have these markers here. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is a 5 block. So every block here, it's 5 by 2, and this is what allows me to reduce the platforms that I'm drawing into a code. So, so we've confirmed that this one does K. We can get rid of this now. And now let's go here. All right, so, and just to make sure in between these, we're going to do this. So it'll be 6K6. Let's make sure we can put K here. Okay, now this is the thing that I don't understand what's going on, is that for some reason this one is not updating. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see what makes it actually update. All right. Other than that, I think this is coming out really great. Like, I'm actually really happy with this. I didn't think it would work. And there's still just a little bit of work that needs to be done. So that's K. That's K. All right, we're gonna make this one K. And we'll make this one 6. All right, so let's test this one out. Yeah, look at this. There are gaps here. This might actually be really good, because if there are actually gaps here, maybe I can reduce this code. That would be ideal. All right, let's get rid of this tile. So once I confirm that this works, we'll move over to the other thing that needs to happen. Let me get rid of this and do this here, 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 and here. So this is K. All right. So now 6. All right, moment of truth. Okay. Look at this. There are alternating gaps now. What is up with this? All right. All right, so we have K there. Let's do this. Let's get rid of this. And now, all right, so this is the first thing that's kind of weird, because it should be 6K, 6K, but there's a 0, 6K, 6K, 0, 6K, 6K, 0, 6K, 6K, 6K. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So can this be done in 6? This should be able to be done in 16. Wait, let me check my math for a second here. Where's my calculator? There are 5 times 4 platforms. So that's 20. So how did this get compressed down? Wait, there's, okay, I see what it is. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 across and 4 down. 4, I think I did screw up my math somewhere. Right, that is 16. Ooh, look at you. I think I have some extra characters to use. Okay, let me copy this for a second. I think there, let's start a new chat, and let me get status. Git commit cleaning up tile map code. Terrible song. All right, we'll push that live, and here we go. So, all right, what we want to do is this. I want to actually give it a reference to CodeGen, All right. Think I made a mistake and told you, wait, there is an issue with the platform code gen. It looks like some chars are being skipped and I'm not sure why. For example, I tried to create a pattern where there were 2 tiles, then 5, then 2, which should give me 6K, 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 etc. But instead, what I'm seeing is 6K, 6K, 0, 6K, 6K, 0, 6K, 6K, 0, 6K, 6K, 0. Is this an issue with, the way the blocks are calculated? There should only be 4 by 4, 5 by 2 blocks. So can we reduce this code down more to 16 concurrent chars? All right, let's see what it has to say about that. Because that was a good catch just by doing this quick test. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to add enemies. And we've already run out of enemies. Let's move. All right. This one's a lot harder to test because I really don't have much insight into what's happening with the enemy code, so I won't be able to fully test this until we can actually restore a level. But what I did have room for, and I don't know if I'm able to implement it, is that I do think I have enough room left to add a new enemy type. Now, let's see. If we only have 16, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4, this is 12, 16, and if we only need 4, and if we can just drop the last 4 characters, that would be great. That would be a huge win because I'm just trying to reduce this. That there's like so many characters that need to be entered, and if we can just make this a lot simpler, that would be ideal. We also are going to have to add in the logic to. We have to add in the logic to. Oh yeah, sorry, I just noticed one thing here. So this goes up to X, which means that we're going to need to use the full alphabet, which is fine. I mean, it's 26 characters plus 10 for the numbers. I was also trying to reduce it so you didn't have all these characters to enter, but we'll see what we can do from there. There may be some other things that we can do to speed this up too. One of the ideas that I have, let me actually write this idea down. need to look into pattern matching. For random level gen and entering in level codes, can we create a lookup table for each pattern that defines the neighbor, the patterns? So when placing a platform down, we can limit the number of chars of input, chars for each char in the code. So there's some things that we might be able to do to sort of make this easier. Let me create this and we'll come back to it. Let's see here. I want you to continue iterating. Let's see if you can figure out Copilot is working on this problem. Let's see what it's come up with. Perfect. Now I've updated this function to only work with the platform patterns, no enemy data, since we're using 16 characters and there is no positions 2023 anymore. Let me also need to check that there are other references to the old 20. Using 16 characters. You only need the lower 16 bits. Now let me clean up the variable. I have a feeling it screwed up something, and I think it got rid of placing down the players or the enemies. So we'll have to fix that. Actually, this reminded me. We should now be able to almost place the player anywhere we want. And I think that because there's only 20 across, this should just go up to J. Yeah, this thing didn't listen to what I wanted. Because I only told it to do the tile map stuff. Let's see if we can get it to restore the actors. What I was trying to figure out is that if we put one here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was trying to see if there's another way that we could compress this so it's easier to enter. But I'm fine if we can just if we can get rid of these last 4 characters. I would call that a huge win. What I also want to do is randomize level code. Is there a way that we can randomize the level code so that typing in just anything won't always produce a code by maybe mixing sets of chars? If there are only 20 something patterns. I lost my mouse. Come on, give me my mouse back. I'm waiting for my computer to allow me to share my mouse back to my PC. For some reason, it's decided it doesn't want to do that. Come on. Give me my mouse. I'm getting annoyed now. My other PC's connected. Why isn't this one connected? I use this app called Synergy to share my mouse between my computers, and I don't know, lately it's just decided that it doesn't want to work anymore. I think this is like their way of forcing me to upgrade because it's a new version and I bought a license for life. There are only 20 sling patterns. Could we assign multiple letters to them and change the order? I don't know how important this one's going to be, but let's do this. Let's keep these changes. Let's see what mess this thing created for us. Ugh, I was going to say, it was looking promising for a second there. Oh, whoops. I screwed up. I should actually have... I thought I updated this label on Twitch. Why is it not letting me update? There we go. All right. Actually, I'm kind of curious to see if this will actually update on my little web app here. All right. Well, all right. Let's just wait for this thing to verify its code. Some of the other things I need to do, and we'll start switching off to in a minute, is I need to fix palettes for actor and platform tiles. The selector is not using the correct palette for previewing tiles. All right, let's create that. I can actually start looking into that one shortly. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, I hate when it does this. No, we can't. Testing the... We don't need to do this. Like, it keeps trying to compile it for me, which is very sweet, but it's not... There's no way I can compile it because I don't even have the compiler set up on my computer. All right, let's go back into here and let's see what damage this thing did. Cool. Let's see. We'll just make a new pattern here. I wonder what makes it think that I wanted to redo the layout. Like, in what mind does it decide that, oh, we had this laid out horizontally, now we're going to make it vertical with no input from me whatsoever. All right. Okay. Almost there. There we go. All right. So now we have this pattern repeating. The level code looks good. Now I want you to add back in the enemy and player code and restore the layout of the code to 1 2 3 4 space 1 2 3 4 space 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 space 1 2 3 4 space 1 2 3 4. All right, so while that tries to do its thing, there's a couple of things that I wanted to do here. And let's go mess around with this these tiles for a second. I don't want to. Oh, we can save this. This is fine. I want to move some stuff around. I also want to go into the old project, Reaper Boy GB assets. Where's our sprites? And there should be a full sprite sheet. There we go. So there's another enemy. Yeah, there's another enemy that jumped. And what I'm kind of thinking we could do is, I think we can just get away with, we don't even need to make a new actor for it. I think all we need to do is just tell this actor that it actually is the oh my god, my brain is like not working today. This is gonna be a long day. I have to get a procedure done tomorrow, so I'm not allowed to eat from now until 12 tomorrow, so this is gonna just not be fun. What I'm trying to figure out is, okay, we could just, all we need to do is copy over this jump and this down, and what we might do for the jump animation is we can set it to here, and let's do this. Let's open up the right project, meta tiles, assets, sprites, Walker. All right, and let's change the canvas width now to 64, move it to the left, and I'm just going to paste in these two guys. Oh wait, I need to do this in reverse. Let's do this. I need to do this as continuous. Here and here. We'll paste this in, and then we'll do this and this. We'll change it to this. And the last thing we need to do is just set up our mask, and we'll save this. The other things that I wanted to bring over, and actually this is like, there's a whole set of stuff that needs to happen. Whoops. I should have maybe not done that. Let me see if this will actually compile. I don't know how far along I got. I added back in the enemy and player codes to restore the layout, display 24 characters in a 6x4 grid format. Let me update the constants and display functions. All right, let it go finish doing its thing. It's probably not going to build. Oh, it did build. I don't think it finished what it was doing. So, all right, while it does that, we're going to bring over the rest of the enemies and the stuff that we need to do here. We need, I think I already have that, but I want this. So one of the things that the original game did is that when you died, it would put a tombstone where you died. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get it 100%, but if you die within a certain tile, I should be able to put this tombstone there. So let me create a new, actually this height needs to be 16. And okay, we'll paste this in here. Let me just grab one of these guys just so I can get the colors correct. Oops. He needs these eyes. W. Why am I not seeing the continuous option for this wand? There we go. These eyes are the wrong color. So let's go ahead and fix them. Now we can save this. And here, we'll just do this as the light green. Copy this. Whoops, don't do that. This is the dark green. Actually, I think I do have an extra shade of green somewhere around here. Why are his eyes completely different? That's interesting. Is that really... Is that just like my imagination? No. He has different color eyes. Let me rebuild this and see that. Hopefully it rebuilds and it didn't break anything while I was doing this code. But maybe I screwed up the eyes somewhere. I think GB Studio is automatically fixing that for me, but let's make sure that this is correct. Because these are the three colors we have. Paint that. Wait, we want eye here. Yeah, I was hoping there was like an extra shade that I had somewhere, but I don't, which is fine. All right. I want wand, and we're going to do this. And let's go ahead and save this. And we're going to call this grave PNG. And let's see, Reaper Boy. Let's save Reaper Boy. I want to also open up the meta tiles. Yeah, look at this. Totally the wrong color eyes. All right. I think we're going to need to put the... Oh, no, we have the tombstone here. All right, we can leave it as a sprite, but I might actually just leave it as a tombstone as a as part of the tile here. And I did have another green, so okay. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let me actually just copy this over. There we go. And we'll just do this, and we'll save this. I may do this as a sprite. Maybe what I'll do is like when you first create it, but then it can turn into a tile in the background. Let's fix you. And you, I think, are fine. Right? You have the right eyes? Yes, now you do. Grave, Reaper Boy. Let's see if this is actually doing anything. All right. I'm trying to see what it did. So enemy count and position checksum. Compress position for first 3 enemies. Enemy direction, type, and bits. Player starting column. Enemy position 3, 4, and 5. Oh, that's an interesting way that it did it. It was able to combine them into a single... Wait, let's see if this actually works still. It looks like it was able to combine the first 3 enemy positions into one character. 2, 4, 6. I wonder if we break it up into 3. The goal is to reduce the number of characters we need to fill the code up with. Like, I'm like using characters and chars sort of interchangeably, but the issue is that we have 0. Originally I was trying to keep it under hex, which is 0 through 9, and then A through F, and that would give us 16. But because there's 20 something platforms, we had to go, I think, to G or H. But the enemies are starting to push us into Z and X. And the problem with that is that's just more characters you need to input, and I'm trying to reduce that number of characters. But let's do this real quick. And we place enemies down. And we'll see what happens. Actually, what I should have done is let's reset this level. All right, we're going to build this pattern out again because I'm going to put the player here. I just want to see that all these characters are filled. So we're going to look for the repeating patterns. All right, that did change. I love that it still doesn't understand how to lay out my code correctly. So what we're looking for is DK, 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 DK. This is so cool. Like, I really don't know of any other Game Boy game. I think somebody said in the chat the other day that maybe Motocross something or other has a tile map editor, but I think this is going to be pretty unique. All right. So we have, what I wanted to see was this by rows. So this is D, 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 K, right? And then D, 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 K, D, 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 K, D, 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 K. So now, if we add an enemy, the first three are going to be those two characters. Whoops. And then it's going to start adding other characters in other places. Well, we can't do any more than that. Let's stay focused on moving. Oh, it didn't delete. This is pretty good. I mean, it looks like it's working. The only thing... Oh no, the player is there. All right. Let's clean this up then. So, all right, get, oops, I want to go here, get status, get add all, get commit. All right, so let's have it relay everything out, and then I'm going to ask it if we're able to compress this anymore, but I don't think we can. I think right now, I think this is just good enough. We'll see. Because if it can really compress positions for the first three enemies, enemy count, position checksum. All right. For it's 3 chars. Wait, it's 3 blocks of 4 chars with a space between and the same on the row below. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oops. Let's see if it figures it out from there. All right, I'm going to go back to, while it does this thing, I'm going to go back to pulling out some of the stuff from Aseprite. I wanted to do, actually, let me add a task real quick. Death animation, the player's ghost, oops, needs to fly up, and a tombstone placed in the tile map behind where they died. Except when they die over an exit, which technically shouldn't happen. All right, we're going to do this, and that means that I need to get this guy's sprites out. The width is going to be 32, and we're just going to paste this one in here. So this is just an angel, where it's technically its ghost, and these are the wings and everything that goes along with it. I need more space. Let's make this 62. All right, and I want to show the grid, which is 8 by 16. And let's turn on snapping. And then edit, crop, sprite, crop, save. And we're going to save this as, oops, ghost PNG. Compile the time up editor plugin and verify the new layout. All right, let's see if that fixed things. All right, good. So now let's do one other thing. You don't have to put empty tiles in between the level code blocks. Just let the background stay the same and only focus on placing letters, chars in the code. All right. But that was pretty good. So now, while it does that, we're going to go into sprites here, and let's take our ghost, and we're going to make the ghost 32 wide. I don't think we actually need that. I think we need to be 24 wide. Yeah, there we go. Because we can put this here, here, and this goes here. So originally I wanted to do it where you could like sort of, he would be symmetrical, but because he has a little harp, it doesn't work. So let's do this. We'll paste this down. We're going to delete this, and here we're going to delete this one and this one, and we're going to use this wing. I could probably, can I not zoom in anymore? There we go. And we can use this wing here. So now when the player dies, they have a little angel or a little ghost that flies up. I think this is good. Let's save this. Let's come back here. let's see what it does now. And we'll rebuild this. All right. Perfect. All right, so there's still an issue where the tiles are flickering, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. What I want to focus on is rebuilding the tile map. So let's do this. I just want to see that we can still put enemies down. All right. I don't know at what point. There we go. Flipping them. Whoops. Technically, every time we place something down, it should change the code. That deletes them. That puts it down. That flips him. And then that goes that way. All right. So we save this. Now get status. Added ghost sprite and cleaned up blank tiles between level code. Let's push this to my whoops, git push all, and then let's do git checkout. Let me close this out because it tends to break this when I do it this way. And I think everything here is saved. We're good to go. Let's do git checkout main, git merge v 0.1.2, git branch v 0.1.3, git checkout v 0.1.3, and git push. All right, so what we did there is I just went through and I merged everything back to the main branch, and then I created a new branch for us to work on because now we're actually going to be breaking some stuff. And this is going to be a little bit problematic. So let's see how we can minimize the damage. So the first thing I want to do is I want, let's start a new chat. Just trying to see what it was just saying. If there's anything there that all right. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I want to create a new event for the tile map editor that will allow me to pass in the player. Oh no, why does it choose to give me my mouse back? Ugh. Synergy, you're terrible. It's funny because like when the Synergy stuff works, it's great. But when it doesn't, like what's going on right now, it is terrible. There we go. All right. Allow me to pass in the player, exit, and 6 enemies so that the tile map paint tool can move those actors to the right position on the tile map, I want to create a new event for the tile map editor that will allow me to pass in the player, exit, and 6 enemies so that the tile map paint tool can move those actors to the right position on the tile map when painting them down instead of drawing a tile to the background. I want to start by just passing in the actor references first and update the paint logic to still draw a tile, so no change, but move that actor to the same tile position to show that it's wired up correctly. You can use there is another one that says like setup map. You can use the event setup map.js as an example for how I was doing this earlier for test. All right, so we're going to do this, and we also want to add in the paint, and let's run this. So, okay, so what we're trying to do now is we want to pass in the references themselves into the tile map and then let the tile map editor continuously move them. Because I started this out thinking, oh, you know what, the easiest way to do this is like I'll just draw tiles and then I'll like analyze the tiles. But I want to reduce all this overhead, and the fastest way of rebuilding the tile map, or by just working with it in general, is to just move the actors to where they need to be. And then we don't even need to mess with painting any tiles to the background. And one, that'll allow us to get rid of some tiles. And two, it'll allow us to use the same code while we paint as to restore. And then it'll replace it out. And I think it'll allow me to get back to what I had before, where you can make changes, hit play, and you'll be able to play them right there in the editor. I just don't know exactly how that will work when it comes to restoring it. I don't know. I have to play around with that part. That part gets really complicated because what really winds up happening is I need to do a couple of different things when you exit the tile map editor, and I think there's no way really around it but keeping those tiles. So I'm going to go through and just add in the rest of these things that we need here. I kind of want to add in the in animation, and I don't think I've done this. Where is the selector? Static Reaper. Exit. So what I want to do is I want to modify this exit, and we're going to make this 64 wide, and we're just going to start adding in all of these things. Let me go to the grid settings and set the width to 8, and then we're going to turn on just snap mode. Okay. So we have this. What was the next thing? I wanted to go back into the sprites, and I need to bring the lock over, but I think I have this in our meta tile. Yeah, we're going to do this. Because what I'm thinking about now to really make this work a lot better is that we don't even need all these tiles. We can actually just start reducing the meta tiles down a lot. Let me do this. All right, so we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna have to rebuild that thing, which is fine. So I want to see if this is still working. Yep. All right, so what we're gonna do is we need to replace these colors so that they match. And they are all the same color, which is great. So if we do this and this, right, we have everything we need. Okay, and we're not using this in the other ones. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so now I'm going to crop this and save this exit. And let's check on our code. It seems to have done everything. All right, set up paint actors event at the beginning of your scene script with your desired actor IDs. Player actor 0, exit, and your enemy actors. Painting phase. When you use the paint tool, player tiles, the specified player actor will be moved to that position. Enemy tiles, available enemy actors will be moved to those positions with correct facing direction. Enemy deletion. Of course, my actors will be deactivated. Visual feedback. The tiles are still drawn to the background. No changes there, but now the actors are also positioned correctly, so you can see them moving in real time as you paint. The system maintains that the existing tile-based painter behavior. Okay, let's keep all this, and let's see. One thing I'm thinking about is that if I actually keep the, brain not working. If I can actually keep the tiles being painted, I could have the enemies moving in real time, which would be kind of interesting. I want to sort of throw everything I can at this to make it as impressive of a demo and a game as possible. So I loved the idea of this like a real-time editor on the Game Boy. And this is still like one of my favorite games that I've built. It's probably like, it's one of a handful of actually like unique games that I've built that are different from anything else I've ever done. It's just a really interesting mechanic, and I came up with this a long time ago at Ludum Dare, and I've created a couple of different iterations of it. So while this builds, I'm just going to mute myself and turn off my camera real quick, and then I will be right back. Cool. Forgot to turn my mic back on. I was just saying that we're just trying to test out these errors to see if there's a quick fix for them, and then we'll go back to well, I'll actually implement this event. I need to reload the entire project in order for these new event files to work. I'll maintain a simple tracking array to keep track of the enemy slots are in use and rely on the position checking to find actors. All right, let me see if there's any other sprites that I need to move over from the old game with the clouds. I haven't figured out what to do with these enemies. I don't think the only enemy I ever used really was this one, but I don't know if it actually matters if we have a if we have like a giant boss at the end, because it really won't be in the end. What I really wanted to do is just start. I want to create like a whole bunch of levels, and then you just get random levels, and you have to do a certain amount. Let's see, is this almost done? No, but let's open up back in the original project that my prototype. I wanted to bring over sprites. There was a star in enemy walker, enemy collision, cloud small, cloud large, checkbox, enemy star. There we go. And I'm going to save this into our current project folder. Reaper Boy, meta tiles, assets, sprites, save. And let's see if this fixed our errors. And now let's try recompiling and see if this works. This might actually throw an error now. I don't know if it's, I don't know how well it's coded if these actors aren't actually passed in. So I may have just created myself a paradox here. Well, it actually still works. I think it's mostly because I have it where I have the tile stuff in place. I told it not to do that. We're going to reload our assets. But more importantly, we're going to switch projects. We'll save this, and we're going to reload this project back up. And we should now have our new event. So what I wanted to do at the very beginning of this level is that we have this set up selector XY position, attach the script to the start button. So we have this logic here called setup level, and this is the star setup is fine. This one here, setup map actors. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to insert an event before it, and let's go into our tile map editor and see. I can't remember what the update code test setup paint actors. So we have the player, we have the exit, we have the enemy, the enemy, the enemy, the enemy, and then one more enemy. I'm going to leave this setup actors in just for right now for testing, and let's see what happens when we paste this or try to rerun this. So now theoretically it should put the actor here, but I don't see the actor. And I think this is more of a problem with the fact that I'm disabling these actors when I go into, so when we enable the editor, I think I set background weight, activate a selector, set selector, move selector to position, copy scene submap, fine. Script update selector, paint tile, move tile, enable editor. Where was I? Oh, was it on the actual guys themselves? Self set direction down. Deactivate self. All right, let's do this. Let's delete, 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 and we'll delete. Now I did notice that the enemy wasn't being moved correctly, but that's a whole other issue. So this was on the prefab. I think I got rid of them all here too. Yeah, okay. So now what I'm looking to do is on init, on update, right, okay. If edit mode was triggered, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this deactivate self. Disable event. And I think this is going to make this a little weird, but let's see if we can, I don't know if the enemies are still going to try to, I mean, they're not moving right now because something is broken, but I'm going to try to see if we place this down. Yeah, okay, there we go. It is actually working. Hey, my player, my player was hidden, and now it's there. So, okay, what we need to do is, oh my God, this is, I'm just thinking through, this is going to be like a huge thing to change. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to disable this event. And here, on update, on init, on hit. All right. What's going to happen is that I think this is going to, I had to figure out where I'm disabling all these guys, but long story short, what I need to do is the tile map editor needs to re-enable the enemies and stop them from moving. Or what it can do is we can put an enemy there, an enemy there, an enemy there. Oh, it looks like it's activating them correctly. And then if we deleted this, oh, that's cool. So this is basically what a real-time editor would look like. It does seem to be struggling a tad. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to we need a I need two events now. The first is triggered when the editor is launched, and it should disable all of the actors. Then, wait, I need two events now. Wait. I need a new event to call when the editor is launched, and it should disable all the actors. All right. Why don't we do that first? We'll create the logic we need to stop the actors from moving around. While that happens, I was going to come back in here, and I don't know why why these guys are not being set to the right direction. They're all being set to down, which isn't correct. What we could do is we could create something where if we do up, no, we're gonna actually need up. Idle up. All right, we'll just keep playing around with this, and as we do this in real time, we'll get this sort of to work. What I'm going to do is we'll make sure that when we go into edit mode, it disables all the actors, right? Then the next thing it's going to do is that once we all right, so launch editor, call disable all actors, setup phase, call setup paint actors. Let me keep this. I think the order is wrong. We should do setup at the beginning. Then when I toggle the editor, call the disable all actors, but can we change this to be enable editor instead, so we can use it as the hook for all logic that needs to be run when the editor is loaded. All right, while it does that, I'm going to take a look and see how we can, I just want to see if this compiles. All right, now run the command in the terminal. All right, well, this compiled, so let's stop that. Let's keep this, and now let's switch projects. We'll save our changes, and we're going to reload the same project back, which crashed, which happens from time to time. We'll just run it this way. And now I want to rebuild it just to make sure that the code works. Then I'll add in the whatever the other stuff. I'll add in the new event that we need to do, which would basically go here, script enable editor. Yeah, we deactivate the player, activate a selector, move selector to edit area. Okay, I think we have most of the stuff that we need right now. I just wanted to see, whoops, stop, go away. It's weird that it doesn't, all right, let's do this. The next thing we want to do is call this function. So setup edit mode. Before we deactivate the player, we're going to insert an event before, and our tile map editor, we're going to update code display. Where did it? Load level code, paint tile, setup map. Update code display, check save. Draw segments, enable editor. There we go. All right, so when we enable the editor, it's just going to automatically do all this stuff for us. So let's disable this. And let's see if this works. So I'm not sure what this, you know why I am seeing this error. Warning, undefined global VM enable actor referenced by mode. The switcher is looking for a function called VB enable editor, but it doesn't exist to suggest. You already created or renamed the event to enable editor, but the corresponding C function hasn't been implemented. I see the issue. All right. I didn't do it. You did it. Don't pass the buck on to me. All right, we'll rename the event. No, I don't want you to do that. No. I don't want you to stop. Just stop all of this. Stop, stop, stop. Sorry, I don't want you. I need the setup and enable editor to be separate. Oh, come on. Make sure you have reverted any code that merged the two events. We'll keep this, we'll run this, and let's see what happens now. I may have actually stopped it before it did that task, but it's still giving me a bunch of build errors, so. I also need to restart the project in order for me to see the changes. But this is like probably the last major refactoring that I need to do, because once this works, then I can create a new function. I have one already. I think it's load code, where I would pass it a code, and it should use that code to rebuild itself. And then all we need to do is just add in the logic for inputting the code, which shouldn't be too hard, and we'll be good to go. Let's fix this. Let's do this now. We're going to save our work, switch projects, and it's going to crash on us. And that's not good. Wonder why it does that. I'm also on like an alpha version of this, so there may be something else going on with that. Let's see if this builds. So theoretically, the next steps that we need to do is that whenever we move an actor, we need to enable it. And I'm going to have to add in the logic to make sure that it can't be, that it won't run. This may not work 100%. I may actually need to always hide the player. Let's see. What happened to my... I don't know what you did here. You do to my other actors. When I go into edit mode, only the actors the tile map has access to should be disabled. Yeah, no surprise there, buddy. Sometimes like the AI is just a little greedy and it likes to just do whatever it wants to do. Here's the change. Fix the enable editor. Only affects the tile. Great, great, great. Fine, 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 fine. All right. Keep this. And let's rerun this and see if it doesn't break. Basically what happens, I noticed my selector wasn't working and I couldn't figure out, I couldn't move around. All right, so what I want to see is if we... That's kind of cool. I actually really like this. I like this idea that you just drop the player and it no longer, and you could see exactly where the player is going to go. The only thing is that we just want to make sure that it, yeah, there, we'll have to make sure that there's something here where it doesn't, let me do this. I don't know how it allowed me to put it here. Oh, you know what it was? When the player died, I lost the ability to, it just sort of like spawned it back on the left-hand side. Okay, so this is working really well. What I want to do now is I'm going to tell it the enemies are not facing the correct direction. When you place them down, set their speed to 0 so they don't move. Well, actually, let's just focus on this because I'm going to add the logic in that when we're in edit mode, these enemies will stop. The other thing I need to do is I need you to add logic to delete or to disable the actor when its corresponding tile is deleted. All right, let it finish this. And now what I wanted to do was shoot, I was thinking of doing something, but I can't remember what I was going to do. Oh, yeah, I was going to go into these guys and now do this. Disable, wait, set insert an event before if false. And we're going to set this to if editor is false, we're going to move everything. Wait, that didn't work how I wanted it to. Event group. What is this else? There we go. All right. Just trying to see. I think all we need to do is move this entire condition into here. We just need to oops, no, not disable this event. We need to disable the else, and everything else should run fine. All right, let's see if this will recompile. Now, what it should do is, because I don't have any logic to stop the enemies from moving, it's going to, it is going to probably make them move if it actually fixed the direction. I don't know what was going on with that direction issue. There we go. Hey, look at that. Wow, things are actually coming together. Ugh. There's something like so great about watching them move in real time, but I think it's just going to bog everything down. Also, for some reason, somehow or another, I've broken the logic for them to move. I think it has something to do with the fact that when the oh, let's see if we can switch the player logic. It's not like you can really see that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I wonder if we can... I need you to disable the actor when its corresponding tile... the enemy when its corresponding tile is deleted. Let that figure itself out. And then what we're going to do here is on init, we don't need anything. Delete this event on update. We are going to delete this, and all we need to do now is insert an event before, that is if false, and what we're going to look for is if edit mode is false, let's disable the else, and we're just going to drag everything into here. So now we'll just ignore while that's building. What should happen now is that when I place the enemy down, it'll just stop walking, because it no longer it'll just exit out of its own update function, because there's nothing there's nothing for it to do at the moment. And let's place an enemy down. See, we now have the enemy there. And if we switch it around, all right, we need to do some logic in there to fix that. But this is actually pretty interesting. Oh, I love this. This I think is my favorite happy accident. I need to do something where the player... I gotta fix the way the player is, because I made it when the player, if we come here and we play this level, it'll restart itself. I made it where when the player flips, they are always centered, but they don't... I think what I need to do is that when I place the player down, based on that marker, it needs to offset. That's actually a really good bug to write down. Need to offset start, player start. When player spawns, they need to be shifted over to the left 4 or 6 pixels so they are centered in the tile column they drop into. All right, we'll create that bug. And let's see. We'll keep these changes. Man, this is like the first time in like 11 or 12 days that I've actually seen this like fully working. Like all of the core stuff is in there. It's just a little bit of these last minute bug fixes. Drop the player down. This is great. We have our enemy here. I want to see if I can get ahead of this cloud and see which ones of our... Yeah, all of them go through that cloud. I think it has something to do with the fact that their bellies are transparent, even though they don't look like they are. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Like, so now if we delete this, oh, wow. This is incredible. I'm so happy right now. It's been like such a long journey to get here. Let's come in here and get status, get add all, get commit, fixed, added, set up tile map, move real actors on paint, and toggle tile map edit mode. All right, so let's there's a couple of things that there's a couple of edge cases that I want to handle. I have 2 player edge cases I want you to handle. The first is that you shouldn't be able to move the player if they are above an enemy. The second is that you need to shift the player sprite or player actor over -4 pixels so they are centered in the column when the editor moves the player. All right, that's going to be cool. I think so. That's the next step, and then the next one we're going to do is we're going to add this exit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I believe the Game Boy can handle 10 sprites in a row, but I'm not 100% sure. But we're going to give it a try. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. And then if we delete the player goes there. Oh, that's so good. I wanted to see if it would oh, there we go. I did notice at some point, I think one of them did flicker. But that's fine. All right. Because now what we need to do is Now we can start cleaning up some of this stuff. I also wanted to do a function. Create a function to randomize background sky. I need a function that will add random star tile locations to each of the layers and randomly sort and place the last line, last sky dotted line, so it looks different each time. Actually, so I'm like a sucker for. I've been doing this since I think I began programming. I love adding randomness to everything in the sense that I hate when it's like the tile map looks exactly the same every single time. What I want is I want you to be able to see variations. So what I'm going to do is we have these stars in the background. What I'm going to have it do is I'm going to have it just basically move these stars around. And we're also going to need to do some stuff in order to get the to get this working. I mean, my brain's just trying to figure out where, like, if we copy this thing and we paste it here, it's just going to I think I just need to make this smaller. Okay, we'll figure this one out. Let's do this first. Let's see where our code ended up. All right, let's keep this. So at this point, what I need to see is I just want to make sure that you can't place the player down if there's an enemy below, because you don't want to start it where it just falls right on top of someone. So let's create a platform. Actually, we should just do it down here so there's some more. So we have it here, right, with our player. Let's make a bad guy here. And you see now we can put this anywhere around it, but we just can't start on top of it. Perfect. All right. So now let me just do this. Oh, wait, I wanted to double check that the offset worked correctly. I think we're almost at the point where I want to test out if I can. I just want to give it a code and have it build out a level. Maybe we'll do that next. I just want to see if we drop the player. Yeah, look, see that offset by 4 now made the player work. Okay, so let's do this. Git add all git commit m fixed player spawn point and offset. I want to make sure I save this too. All right, so now what I want to do is, okay. Now I want to create or use an now I want to implement, oh no, stop. Now I want, actually, let's do this in a new chat. Yeah, we'll start in a new chat. All right, what we're gonna do is, let me close all this stuff out real quick. Git status. I don't think I need to do anything here. Let me clear this. All right. All right. I want to be able to pass a full level code into the tile map editor on startup using the load level event. Load level code event. I need you to modify the event so I can pass in a, what is it, 16 2024 ideally I'd like to have something like a input field like the use your mind for the event so I can pass in a 24 chart character. Okay, let's do it this way. I'm just going to leave it very ambiguous for it. So I want to be able to pass in a full level code into the tile map editor on startup using the load level code event. Now I'm going to come back here and let's take one look at something. So I think it was all the way down here. We have this setup map actors, right? If we disable this event, what winds up happening is that you won't have a starting, like all the starting stuff won't happen. Like you can see, like all this stuff is just going sort of crazy. So what we want to do is we want to create an event. I'm going to enable this again. We're going to have to come back to this. Let me insert an event before. Comment. Rename to do. Need to remove the setup map actors script and have the setup paint actors handle this. All right, so I want to be able to pass. Actually, before we do this one, let's actually fix that bug. I want you to modify. Can we go back in the chat history? Is this like the? Okay, here we go. This is the last chat we were in. All right. Now I want you to modify the setup paint function to disable all of the actors on startup so that the load level script so that the level is ready to be initialized via the load level code event. All right, and I'm just going to paste this here so I don't lose it, but then this is, I just want to start reading out some of these other scripts. Like, I think I was calling, yeah, this is a function that existed. So it starts in a clean state, ready for the load level code event to populate it. All right. So now let's come back here. Where did I have this? I had this on here, this setup map actors. Let's disable this event. Because right now, if we run it and we see this is going to, oh, well, things are breaking right now, so. All right, maybe it's doing, that's weird. I didn't think it actually applied a handler. No, this is something else. All right, let's rerun this and see what happens. I think I might have to restart. Let's save this. Switch projects. Okay. Close. What just happened here? Disable all actors event. Whoops. Did I just lose that? All right. I am getting an issue with missing event disabled all actors. It's empty and I don't think we are using it. Is it safe to delete? Yeah, it's absolutely safe to delete this. All right, delete this. Oh. Let me let it do its thing first. Perfect. Yeah, sure. You can delete that for me. All right, now let's see if we can rerun. Let's see if we can reload this project. All right, so if we restart it now, what should happen is that it'll automatically disable all of the actors because we're setting up the tile map to begin with. And then we'll go into the tile map, and then what we'll do next is we'll create the chat to, let me just paste this here so I don't lose this. We'll create the or we'll modify the event to then load a level code. And then what we'll do is we'll come up with a very basic level, and then that'll become our, every time the game loads up. For right now, it'll just use that level as a sanity check that everything works. I'm so excited. Like, I really didn't think I was going to be able to pull this off. I mean, not for nothing, but like, I definitely have been getting a ton of help from the AI. Wait, why did I, oh no, I lost my mouse. It's like always happens when I'm like right in the middle of something. There we go. No, wait, give me my mouse back. Just gonna watch this player fall forever. All right, as soon as my Mac gives me back my mouse. All right, you've connected to my, there we go. There we go. All right, so let's go into edit mode. Oh wait, sorry, let's go into edit mode. And we'll place him there to stop that weird falling thing from happening. This is looking good. We can put our enemies down. All right, I think this is sort of working. I don't know why it doesn't disable the player. But you know what? That's fine. I think we're closer to where we need to be anyways. So at this point, I can delete this call here. Delete event. Delete event. And oh, you also have this disable the player. And actually, let's just start the new chat, because here's what we want to do. I want to be able to pass a full level in. Let's do get wrong tab, get status, get add all, get commit cleaning up map station logic. All right, so let's see. I want to be able to pass in a full level code into the tile map editor on startup using the load level code event. I need you to modify the event so I can pass in a 24 char code and start the game. The tile map, when the code is parsed, it should route through the paint tool in order to draw all the tiles and place the actors where they need to go. All right, let's see if this will work. Just reading my messages on what I'm supposed to do for tomorrow. And when I need to stop eating, which I think is already come and gone, and I'm already starving. All right, well, whatever. I'm just going to be drinking water for the rest of the day. All right, so if you're just tuning in, we've been making huge amounts of progress now in the tile map editor. Right now, I'm just having the tile map editor add in the logic that will let me reload a level. And then this will complete basically the cycle, so we'll be able to pass in, like when everything starts up, it registers the level, it disables the actors, it loads up right now, just ignore this because it's like not fully working yet. But actually, I'll just go into the edit mode and then delete this. Okay, you can stop now. There you go. So then we go into this edit mode. Sorry, I'm going back. The load level logic will start everything up. It'll put the actors in the right position. It's going to build out the tile map, all that stuff. Excuse me. And then if we go into edit mode, we'll be able to tweak it, and we'll just be able to use the same code. So let's see what this has come up for us. I'm going to read back and see what it is doing here. Great. Now I understand the encoding. The level uses a base 35 encoding. Let me also check the decode functions and understand how to parse from strings. Now I have all the pieces I need. I can see the level code. There's a chart of value function. There's a load level. Now I need to move the load level logic to accept 24 character string. Let me create an enhanced event. All right. I need to add the C function to handle loading from a string. I'm actually impressed. It's running a lot of stuff under the hood, and I mean, definitely with the help of Copilot and ChatGPT and all the other AIs I've been using on top of just building these type of game engines for years. I'm able to there's really like a good amount of logic under the hood here, and like all this stuff with this tile map placement and growing, this all just looks really good. It works really well too, and yeah, it's fully playable. Once we're able to reload these levels, I need to shift the guy over to the left. I'll do that once. Shift enemy 8 pixels to left when placed. If enemy is placed facing left, their sprite needs to shift 8 pixels to the left. All right, we'll come back to that. Oh man, when this thing does like a ton of stuff like this, I get incredibly nervous because I don't know what it really is doing under the hood. I mean, I have a sense of it, and I can always go look through these diffs, but I really want to. I'm hoping that it's just able to take all the existing logic and piece this together right now. They're really the only new logic that they need to create is the parsing code for the level code, but everything else just gets passed right back into the paint tool, and that was by design. And this is sort of like where I thought about, this is sort of where my head was at from the beginning, was if I can create a paint tool that does all this stuff and positions the players and the enemies and draws the level, then I can just as easily use the paint tool to rebuild the level as well. Yeah, okay. It's starting to struggle with the same issues that I realized. What I'm kind of curious about, let's go to GitHub GB Studio. And I want to see how they're handling this message event. Let's look here in events. Message. Overlay hide. Maybe it's dialogue. Nope. Yeah, I'm trying to see text choice, text dialogue. I'm kind of curious how it abstracts out this stuff. Yeah, continue iterating. It is really confused right now. It's trying to do a lot of stuff. Oh my God, this music's terrible. Let me create a simple version that just handles the platform patterns, player position, and basic enemy information. For my implementation to work correctly, the level codes from the system, I need to implement a proper decoding function too. However, for the initial implementation, let me create a simple focusing on basic functionality. I mean, I appreciate that it realizes that whatever it's doing is way too complicated. I'm probably going to have to break this down. All right, let's see if this compiles. Anyone want to take bets? My bet is that it doesn't. But who knows? Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. Nope. Does not compile. Yeah, this is like the last big hurdle, I think. I think everything else after this is going to be just polish, but just getting this to read the code. Because part of it is not only do you have to read the code, but we have to store the code in chunks in memory. And then we also need to use that memory, which I'll have to tie into later once this is working, so that when we go from the editor back to the player, it rebuilds the level, reloads the code from memory, and then we're good to go. I wonder what would happen if I ejected the core in. Yeah, I wonder what would happen if I ejected the core in GB Studio, would put all the C code into my project. You can't really go back, but it would allow me to actually do some more editing to the core engine, which I have been wanting to do. I wanted to fix the, I don't know, I need to come up with a game loop, and I need to move the game loop into C, because I don't think it's working very well like this. I think just having too many enemies on the screen, each one of them tracking their own movement and stuff, is just too much. All right, let's do this. So there might be some other, like, basically the sky's the limit right now on how I can implement and simplify logic, because as I offload more and more of this to C, I can do things that I really couldn't do in the visual editor here. Like, maybe I could set up the enemy's boundaries based on the platforms. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a code that we're going to create the most basic level we can think of. We'll delete this, this, and this. All right, so this is our level. I'm going to write it down somewhere. Let me come back into here and see if I have the create after this. Most basic level. Actually, let's do this. Test level. This is going to be 4000 50 5000 000 0000 Y101 000. And this is, I'm just putting this here because I'm going to use this for testing later on. Commit. Because this is actually tied to reloading the level. So now let's see. What I want to do is we set up the level, the paint actors. Now we need to insert an event before. And we're going to do load. Load level code. That's interesting. He gave us an SRAM or variable recommendation. That's pretty neat. The real question is, how do we convert? Like, how do I set variable, insert event before, set variable to value. Property, expression, direction, math, Boolean, comparison, copy value. All right, let's delete this for a second because there's no way to actually do this easy, but text dialog. I want to, let's insert event before text dialog. Display dialog. Disable this event. Okay. Now let's see if we can get it to do the following. Okay. To work around on the event UI. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, let me save this and restart it. It may have nope. I'm just trying to see if it did anything to. Ah, here we go. See, it already did that. Oh, look at this. Oh, success variable. That's interesting. So, okay, what we can do here is we can pass in this temp0 and use that. And look, we now have our code. All right. I knew there was something that was missing. I'm glad I thought about restarting. All right, so this is our level code. let's come here and we're going to put this in and see if it'll actually work. And we're going to insert an event before if variable is true, temp 0, message level loaded. Level loaded. We'll just keep it like that. I keep forgetting that there's like a finite amount of characters you can display in a message. So, all right, rebuild this. Oh, please, please work. This would be so good if it works. All right, so we need to, while that compiles, we need to set up map verification. So when loading a map, we need to check for the following things. So that's weird. It loaded this map, but it didn't do anything. I guess it gave me an error back. So what we'll do here is we'll add an else. We'll copy this event. We will paste this event after. Actually, you know what we can do? We can just do it this way. Delete. And then let's see what this number returns while this rebuilds. The following things. There is a player. The player. It did this weird thing where it doesn't. Shoot. I just need to move this past here. Player has a platform, at least one enemy. All right, loaded 0. So let's see what that means. Basically, we are success variable. So turning 0 when trying to load the following level. I mean, we knew this wasn't going to be this easy. Doesn't return a success value when loading from a code string. Let me check the current C implementation at a proper success reporting. Need to modify the function to return a success value and update the JavaScript to handle it. Let me first update the C function. Kind of a weird thing that it didn't do. All right. So, when loading a map, we need to check the following things. There is a player, the player has a platform, and at least one enemy. We also need to return an error code based on which so no player is highest, no enemy is lowest. This should also be run when exiting edit mode. So it needs to be its own event. Let's do this. You probably return 1 with valid code. All right, let's see. I don't like that it changed my code. That is not part of the solution. Excuse me. All right, still loading 0. It doesn't appear like the editor is actually going to paint anything when parsing the code. All right, I think this is going to be one of those bugs that's just going to take me a little bit longer today to do, and I think I'm probably going to probably end this stream in a little bit, and then I'll keep hacking away at this, but I'm going to be out tomorrow, so on Thursday I'll be back, and by then all we're going to be doing on Thursday really is going to be all we need to do on Thursday is just going to be polishing, I'm hoping, at that point. So yeah, why don't we do this? This is a natural place for us to end. I'll let this keep doing its thing, and I'll see you back on Thursday. So thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully we'll have a working game by the end of this week. That would be great.